move that here. We're just kind of recapping
This
on
meeting is
where I
being
met
recorded.
Matt. Here's Matt, the man of the moment. Matt Smith, you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. Just doing a bit of an introduction about where we actually met. So I'm sharing my screen. Obviously, we met at Brent Gove's event, One Big Fire. I was trying to obviously explain what that was. 1,100 agents for the guys that know Brent Gove. He has a big American agent, has a revenue share group now of circa 20,000, and he makes probably about $750,000 each month. And he holds these events. He has Tom Ferry, Gary Brecker, motivational, inspirational speakers. And obviously, Matt was one of those agents who was up on stage. So we heard your story. I heard it once. I
So work
thought
for the property one, to be honest.
I've got to get you
There's so
back
many people.
to speak to our group, Matt, about your story. Your time's very precious, so you've only got half an hour. So we really appreciate you spending the time with us, Matt. Just so you know, so this is our mostly it's agents within our organization. We have a revenue share group that we're building, and we look up to the American guys for inspiration about what you do. So we've got half an hour. So I guess we'd love to hear your story. We're going to be talking about your real estate career, your story, your agency, then obviously kind of talking about revenue share as well. So Matt, over to yourself. Do you want to give us a quick snapshot about your agency first of all, where you're based, what you do, and then we'll go on to your, I guess, your kind of career, your real estate career prior to joining EXP.
Perfect. Yeah, so thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. My name is Matt Smith. I'm president and CEO of Matt Smith Real Estate Group. Our team has been number one in our marketplace for the last 10 years. The last 5 years, we've sold 650 or more homes every year, despite the marketplace. And we've done that in a town of less than 300 real estate agents. So it's pretty unique in that perspective. And so very, very blessed with some amazing people and been able to surround myself with amazing people that I've learned from and been able to apply into my life and my business. And so yeah, that's a little bit about our real estate company. I hate talking
Nice.
about me, so it's a little awkward,
That's
but
right. You got half an hour. It's all about you. And can you give us can you talk us through your real estate career prior to joining EXP, and then why you then joined EXP, Matt?
yeah, so prior to joining EXP, let's go prior to real estate. Before I was in real estate,
Okay.
I think a lot of people are waiting for permission, right? They're waiting for permission to grow. They're waiting for permission to be the best version of themselves. And the truth is, that permission is never coming, right? And so, I grew up in in a very, very small town. My high school graduating class had 30 kids. And I grew up with a single mom who worked three jobs so that I wouldn't know that we were poor. My very first job was stacking slabs at a sawmill for $20 a day. And how I found out that we were poor, fun fact, is I would save all of that money and I would stack it under before flat screens were a thing. I had a big box TV in my room and my entertainment stand, and I would put my $20 every day underneath that TV, thinking nobody knew it was there. Well, I went there one day and I had saved like $1,000, and as a kid, like that was a lot of money. And I went there one day. I was going to go buy something, and all I had was a note in my mom's handwriting that said "I owe you."
Yeah,
And it was at that moment that I knew, like, oh crap, we don't have much money. When your mom has to borrow money from you and hope that you don't find out in order to know that you don't not have money, it's pretty unique perspective. So. Anyway, that's kind of like prior to real estate, and then one sales job landed to another, and I was actually at an event. My fiance at the time, who's now my wife, worked at a property management company,
yeah.
and we were at one of their functions, and I was selling radio ads at the time. And he said, "How come why don't you come work for me? If you can sell air, you can sell real estate." And I'm like, "Well, how much money does your average agent make?" And he said, "Well, our average agent last year made 70 grand." I said, "Awesome. I'll go get my license. I'll come work for you." Because I was busting my butt, making 30 grand a year. And so I'm like, that would double my income. I'm in. And I also knew my work ethic that I learned at the sawmill, learned from my mom, that I was not average. I was willing to be above average in my work ethic as long as I got above average results. And so started into real estate and got into real estate, got my license. And this is part of the story that you heard, James, and I'll make it brief here, but I think it's really interesting for perspective. A lot of people think that we have a lot of challenges in real estate. And don't get me wrong, real estate is challenging. But I've developed a concept and a kind of a principle I live my life by, and that is that life doesn't happen to me, life happens for me. Life doesn't happen to me, life happens for me. And if you look back, we all have trials, we all have tribulations, we all have things that we've had to adapt and overcome to be where we are. But you can look at those things and you can look at them through the lens of, man, those things happen and why me and why did those things happen and just throw your own pity party. Or you can realize that those challenges and obstacles and trials and tribulations that you overcame helped turn you into the version of you that you are today. And I think that life is a classroom and there's things that we can learn from all of those. And so one of my biggest moments that life was a classroom started right when I got in real estate. I had a 6 week old newborn at home, our first daughter. And I had 3 months of electric bill behind on sitting on the counter that I couldn't pay, no food in the fridge. And all of a sudden my wife gets sick and I have to take her to the emergency room. She has one emergency surgery, turns into a second emergency surgery. And I'm walking into the hospital. I'm like day 3 after surgery. I'm walking in the hospital with my 6 week old daughter. I walk in and I open the door, and someone kicks the door closed on me. And then the doctor comes dressed out head to toe, completely covered in what I can only describe as a hazmat suit. And he says, "We have a problem. Your wife has developed a severe staph infection overnight from the surgery, and we've given her the only antibiotic that will get rid of the staph infection. And she's allergic to it. So we have 2 options. Number one, we continue to poison her body with this antibiotic that her body's allergic to and kill her, which we are not allowed to do by law. So we're really stuck with one option. The staph infection is going to take over her body. We estimate that she's got 24 hours to live. We're going to dress you and your 6 week old daughter up so you can go in and tell your wife, and she can tell her 6 week old daughter goodbye." That was my start to real estate.
Good hell.
Fortunately, my wife pulled through many, many, many months of recovery. We have 2 beautiful girls today. But I share that story to share that I think a lot of us allow life to happen to us. We allow things that happen in life to be the reason why we don't accomplish, or the reason why we don't grow, or the reason why we don't sell more real estate, the reason why we don't live a better life, the reason why we don't have more freedom. And guys, if the truth is, if you look, there's always a reason why you can't. Why don't we start looking for reasons why we can? And I really think that if you just adopt that mindset of life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us, there's a lesson in everything. And I believe life's a classroom, and there's a lot of lessons that life can teach us. And so that was the start to my real estate career. And with that mentality, with my work ethic, with my back against the wall, fight or flight, I'm a fighter. I'm assuming you guys are too. That's why you're on this call. And so went from zero to my very first full year in real estate. I paid more money in taxes than I'd ever made in my life, from absolute zero. And that was with the amazing real estate training that I had was, hey, you have your license. Here's a real estate contract. Read it. I'll be back in 2 weeks from vacation. I'm going to the beach, and we'll train you then. They came back 2 weeks later. I said, here's 5 contracts. I hope it filled it out right. What do I do next? Because if there's either a way or there's an excuse, right? And so I had no options, zero options mentality, and just figured out a way to make it happen. And haven't looked back since. And so that's to where we are now. To our company will sell 800 transactions this year.
But was that obviously, when did you join EXP in that point then? So were you doing your own agency, and then why did you get rid of your agency to then join EXP? Like, talk to us a bit about that story.
Yeah. So my first full year in real estate, I sold 74 homes as a single agent. And then I just realized that I probably should grow a team. I'm too busy. My aha moment for growing a team was, and teams weren't cool or weren't the hip thing to do back then. They become really, really popular now. But I wanted to do it because I was in this to help people. Like, I was in this to make a difference in people's lives. I think it's such a privilege. We get to help people with the biggest purchase or sale of their lives every single day. That's what we do. That's what real estate is. And knowing that it was important, I I just I remember having a phone call with someone that said, "Hey, I want to go see this house. It's a new listing. Really sweet person. They want to see the house." I said, "All right, great." And I'm looking through my calendar. I'm scrolling through. I'm like, "All right, 2 weeks from Tuesday at 4 o'clock. How does that work?" They're like, "No, I meant like today." And I was just booked out.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this is not a solution, right? I got to find a better solution. These clients are better. And so that's when I started on journey of down a team. And unfortunately, my
Right.
broker at the time did not see eye to eye in me growing a team. I was a
Mhm.
threat instead of an ally. And so I went to look for other options. And as I'm looking for other options, this little known company called EXP Realty comes around. And so I decided to join forces with EXP. Really, when I joined, it was very simple. I spent a lot of time deciding it. I did not understand revenue share. I did not understand stock at the time.
Mhm.
I didn't understand all of the benefits that EXP provides. Really, what it was they were going to, in my small town, their words, allow me to start a real estate team, allow me to grow my business, and I get a broker for $16,000 a year. Sign me up, right?
And
And then
a broker is an agency, isn't it? Like you call a broker an actual agency.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And so like it was really like as a real estate company, are they going to help me sell more real estate? And the answer was yes, right? It's like for us in our market to get a broker is going to cost me 50,000 a year. I get one for a fraction of that cost. And I don't
Mhm.
have to manage them. I don't and then once I saw that and it made sense as a real estate company, then I added in all the other ancillaries and the opportunity and the networking and just the growth, the opportunity that EXP provides. And I'm like, whoa. I would be out of integrity not to be with this company because this company could provide more to my agents with it than I can without it. And
And
so
we'll come on. To,
then it became a decision out of integrity for my agents. Like I have a responsibility to what's best for them. Being
Mhm.
with EXP is the best decision because it gives the most opportunity for them and their family.
And then talk to me about how your agency, your brokerage has grown since you joined EXP. Talk because I watched some of your YouTube videos. I'll come on to that in a second about some of the brokers. So talk to me about how your agency has grown since you. When did you join EXP first of all? Then talk to us about how it's
2018.
grown since then.
Yeah.
2018, and how has it
Yep.
grown since then?
So the first year we grew, so here's an interesting part of the story. When you're in a small market around small mines, they don't, when my broker found out that I was leaving for EXP, I was in the middle of building out a new office we were going to move into, and I was keeping it quiet. And the broker found out and had the very brief conversation, pulled me into his office and said, "Hey, so I hear you're leaving, and you're joining this cloud brokerage," and kind of laughed about it. And I said, "Yep, we are, but hope we can remain professional, cordial, all that." And he said, "Well, we could, or we could do it this way. In the state of Missouri, which is where we operate, the broker owns all of the listings and all of the contracts, and so those are mine. You have till 5 p.m. Get your stuff, get out. If you come after 5 p.m., you're trespassing. This is my office. These are my clients. If you call them, I'll turn you in. You will lose your license. Good luck." I had 97 listings and 46 pending transactions at that time. Went to zero overnight. Took all of that to start back over again from coming back to zero and had to
Mhm.
start over again doing all of that after my wife's surgery, all of that. In our very first full year, we sold 226 transactions, I believe, when we were with EXP from absolute zero. The next year, we doubled. The next year, we grew to over 500 transactions, and then we went over 700 transactions, and we've been at 650 or more every year since.
And we've got a few agencies who are joining EXP on this call. Why do your agents want to join you? Like, how much value, what do you provide for them? Do you give them leads? Like, talk to me about why the agents want to join you. And then can you go through maybe how you do your splits with your agents as well?
Yeah, for sure. Um, so I don't believe real estate is a one size fits all model. And I believe the people that try to make it that are part of the problem that I see in our industry is if one model was obsolete and the model was everything, why in the world is not every agent with one company? Right? So different people have different needs, different wants, different desires, different values. And so what I did in my organization was I got very, very clear on the values that I had, the mission and the vision and the values that I wanted for my organization. And I learned a lot of lessons from being in an environment that was not so healthy and a culture that I was not in alignment with. And I think a lot of us learn lessons from, I'll call them North Stars. So they're like mentors, coaches, guides, people that we want to become. There's a lot of lessons that we all learn from those people in our life, and they're very, very critical. But I think even more critical, if we look for it, are what I call our South Stars, the people that are doing things that we don't want to be like, the things that we learn from, like, ooh, I would do it differently. I don't like that. That doesn't sit well with me. And so I learned a lot of lessons on how to build a culture, how to build community, how to build a network or a community of like-minded people that are actually coming together to serve a common mission, rather than an office, a bunch of salespeople fighting against each other. I just don't think that that is best for the consumer. And so I want to create an environment that the agents can thrive. And so that starts with being clear on our mission, our vision, and our values. And we have a saying in our organization: culture first, culture over sales. So that means that we put culture, which is, are we bringing in the right people? Are we upholding our core values? Are we becoming a better workplace? Are we helping you become a better human? Are we doing all of those things first? And when we do those things first, then we can look at where is our sales. But what has happened, it's been wild. As we obsess over the culture of our organization, the real estate sales just come and they continue to grow. And it continues to evolve because we focus on how can we become the environment. I say this in our organization now is that we have everyone fooled. They think we're a real estate company. We are a personal development company. We just happen to sell real estate. Because if we can develop them as a human, we can help them become the best version of themselves. They're better in all aspects of life, in their health, their wealth, their relationships, their finances, with their spouse, with their kids. With if they're better in all of those areas,
Mhm.
by default, they are going to sell more real estate. No, don't get me wrong. We have education, one of our core values, and we train and we train, and we have very, very skilled individuals, but that is secondary to putting the culture and community first.
And then we'll come on to equity and revenue share in a second. But you mentioned that there were a lot of attributes to the XP that kind of blew your mind that you obviously wanted to. It wasn't just the equity and the revenue share. Like, what were those that excited you when you first joined the XP? You mentioned like the
Yeah.
international stuff.
Yep. So the very first thing that excited me, speaking of culture community, the very first thing that excited me, and EXP takes credit for this, because EXP is extremely powerful. If they weren't, my business, and I say this humbly, I could operate my business with under any umbrella, and many of you could as well. I choose to be with EXP because it's best for me, it's best for my agents, and I believe in what they're building. Right? We all have that choice. But where I really found out the benefit of this community was when I joined EXP, because the people that I joined EXP with, above and beyond everything that EXP provides, which is phenomenal, that you won't find anything better. But there's also like people like James that are building a community, inviting you guys to calls like this, giving you insight, giving you like that kind of stuff is the intangibles that you don't find anywhere else. Because like I literally have goosebumps thinking about it because it's been that impactful in my life. Because if you are who you hang around, and when you can have a model that rewards financially people that build community and help and contribute to other people's lives, everyone is going to win. And to me, that is really the secret because I was able to actually partner with other people in real estate that are doing things that I wanted to do. They shared their playbook. That's why I do these types of Zooms because people shared with me to help me get where I'm at. And it's just like my obligation. And I love giving back and I want everyone to win. And so it's like, I hope I give you something here today that you can live a better life because of. And that's the power of EXP. That's the power of building culture. That's the power of building community. And I think so many people get stuck on like, hey, what's in this for me? And what's my split? And they're missing the bigger picture of what can I build within this opportunity.
And then you mentioned equity and revenue share, Matt. First of all, if you were talking to an agent considering EXP, how would you describe revenue share? If that new agent says, "Hey, mate, what's revenue share?" How would you describe that?
So revenue share it's simple. Of the people that overcomplicate it are the people that struggle with it. It's simply like, do you know, does your business, does your real estate business exist to make a profit? Are you running a profitable business? Most people would say yes, right? If you're not, well, I'm not a nonprofit, right? I have a heart to serve and to give, but I also have to be profitable. I have a family to support, right? And so there's a lot of models that run like, so if you could be a part of a real estate company that would give you a percentage of the profits, or you would be like, what did you do in the future? I worked at a tire shop. I worked at a restaurant, whatever the thing is in the career. Imagine if you could be with a company that gave you a percentage of the profits that the company made. How would that make you feel as an employee? You'd be over the moon. Revenue share is 10 times, 100 times greater than that because they share the revenue the company generates, not just the profit. So that means if you share this opportunity for a friend or other friends that enjoy, that want to sell real estate, that are already selling real estate, and they can plug into this community, they can plug into this brand, every single time that they sell a home, everyone wins together. They are
And
literally
you
sharing 50% of the revenue that the company generates back to its agents, which is hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Unlike anything I've ever seen. The opportunity is absolutely insane.
And you mentioned that you didn't come for revenue share. When
Nope.
did you start to see it, engage in it, and then build it? And then how have you built it? I'm obviously highlighting on screen you're now making £10,000 a month in January, which is amazing. So talk to me about a bit about your revenue share journey. When did you see it? When did you engage in it? And then how have you built it, not just for you, but also for your organization?
Yep, really good question. Good question. So I actually had a big mental block with revenue share at first, um, because I was so focused on rebuilding my team, and that was my number one. I joined EXP because I'm a real estate agent, not because I'm trying to get this passive income and all of that. But once looking back now, I wish I would have made a little bit of focus on it because that would have been there'd be extra zeros to that, right? But we live and we learn. And so I'm very blessed to have an amazing real estate company because I put all my energy into it and it was under the EXP umbrella. And I made stock and other things um, throughout that. But the thing is that I really was able to zoom back and focus on revenue share and see the impact that it had by getting to events like James was at in Cabo and seeing and hearing other people's stories of the lives they're able to live, the things they're able to do, the things they're able to do without having to put in, like with in real estate, we get out of it what we put into it. With revenue share, this check's coming whether I want it or not. That changes things in life. And EXP has, because of revenue share, has given me freedom because of a lot of other things, the alignment in EXP, the way I've built my team, my coaching business, all of that. But EXP is a big part of it. Like I'm in my home office right now at my lake home with my kids right out here being homeschooled.
I was
When
going
I
to come
get done
on.
with, when I get done with work today, we're going to take the jet skis out on the lake to go have fun with my kids because we're living, there is no such thing as work-life balance. It's work-life integration. And
We'll come
I'm
on to
able to bring my
homeschool.
kids along on some of these journeys and help them experience these things because of the opportunity of revenue share.
We'll come on to that, Matt, and that's why I spoke to you in Cabo. I've got an 18-month-old son. It's our family goal to not send him to school. That is through building enough revenue share to give us the freedom to homeschool as well. And that's why I wanted to connect with you. We'll come on to that, but talk to us about how you build, like how many agents do you have in your group and how do you build your group? How do you build your leaders? Talk to us about the events, the community. What do you do to build your organization?
Really good. Number one, if you want to grow an organization, you better become attractive, right? Meaning that if you want to, what can I do? What would be valuable to who is the avatar that I want to attract? Who are the people I want to be in business with? And what is valuable to them? And how can I be of value? We have to have the servant's heart, but a lot of us haven't even got clear on that. And so I really encourage you, that's step one is who do I want to attract? Who do I want in my community? And how do I provide value to them? Um, so as far as my revenue share, again, I did not focus on it for years. I've been focused on it for the past about 9 months. And I grew my revenue share from 100 agents to we're at like 270 agents now in the last 9 months. And
Amazing.
and it's going to grow substantially from there. And it's really because number one is I got really clear on who I wanted to be. I got really clear on who I wanted to be in business with because I've done this the wrong way. I've done this. People reach out to me and they say, "Hey, can I join? What this EXP thing about?" And I'll get them in, but I didn't provide any value. They got out of the business. It put a bad taste in my mouth, put a bad taste in their mouth, right? And so I had to figure out a system in my brain that would work. And who am I actually trying to attract, right? And so for me, my main audience is team leaders because I am a team leader. I coach agents on a team every day in my business. I'm a real estate coach for some of the top teams in North America. And so like I speak that language at an extremely high level. And so why don't I just become attractive to that avatar? And if someone's a brand new agent wanting to join me in EXP, I will help them, but I'm going to plug them under someone else in the team or someone else inside of my community in EXP that likes to train new agents or put them on my team in this case, right? But if they're in another state, and so like I think it's getting really clear on who you want to attract and what would be valuable to them. Number two is, and this was big for me, find a running mate, find someone to run alongside with, find someone that is of like mind, of values, of mission that wants to grow something together because growing in an organization gets really, really hard. And there will be times where people leave you. I had a text last night from a team leader that joined me 6 months ago. And there was a problem with the EXP broker. They didn't do something they're supposed to do. And so I'm out here playing firefighter. She may get mad and leave. It was out of my control. And those things happen. But those things aren't exclusive to EXP. Those things happen at every brokerage every single day.
I think
Right. And
it's
so, go ahead.
but it's great to get you on because sometimes we all talk about the likes of Cliff Freeman. He obviously has 12,000 agents in his group. We know how much he earns, 400,000 years old. And sometimes people think, how am I going to get there? But you've got 270 agents, which is a very achievable number. And obviously your Instagram, you're making now £10,000 a month in January. And you kind of mentioned, yes, you're obviously earning the money, but then it's all of the agents who you're helping to kind of change their lives as well. And so that's why I wanted to kind of get you on that. Yes, we all want to be like Cliff Freeman and Brent Gove eventually, but you've achieved this in 9 months. Are you is this a relentless thing for you now, the revenue share? Like how do you dip in and out? And also how have you actually gone out there to build obviously you're being attractive, but I think you said that you're quite proactive in reaching out to agents. What are your strategies
Yep.
to build for yourself and also to help your agents build as well?
Yeah, so I'll give you a step-by-step guide. Is number one, get clear on your avatar, right?
Yeah.
Who do you want to attract? Number two is find a running mate. Find someone that you can do this with, someone that thinks similar so you can have someone to hold you accountable. When you're having a bad day, they lift you up. You need someone else, right? Number three, build a community with collaboration and contribution. Later on today, we have a team leader mastermind that I host every week for team leaders that are in a community, similar to what James is modeling it for you right here. And you don't have to recreate it. I'm sure James would allow you to invite people you wanted to attract to EXP to this call, right? And so what is the community and are you plugging into that? Because there's power in this room. There's power in this community. And the more that you lean into it, the more valuable it becomes as long as it comes from contribution and collaboration, right? What I've learned being in some of the biggest rooms in the world is that competition doesn't exist at the top. The people at the top are collaborating and contributing with one another. The people at the bottom are the ones that are competing. There is no competition. The people at the top have an abundance mindset. And so find those people, contribute, and eventually it will come around to you. Number four, this is the tactical thing of all of this. Invite 5 people per day. Invite 5 people today to the opportunity. Do this over the phone, do this on Facebook Messenger, do this on text. The truth is, if you reached out to 1,250 people and invited them to EXP, you would have to try to have not 5 people say yes, right? Like you're going to get 5 people by accident. But we don't realize the compound effect of small daily activities. 5 texts a day, just in working days, is 1,250 texts per year. So are you reaching out proactively to invite people to the opportunity? Just like in real estate, you have to reach out. It's a proactive business. We got to reach out to clients. We got to lead generate. Same thing inside of recruiting.
And has anyone ever said, Matt, Why did you do that? I've hated EXP.
Yeah, we're not for everyone. Cool. They're closed-minded. I don't waste my time with them, right? Like I don't try to convince people that aren't ready to be convinced. I'm not going to burn the relationship. I'm not going to burn the bridge. I'm not going to be upset about it or react emotionally. If they're not open-minded, I'm not going to convince them. I'm not in the convincing business.
Hmm.
But again, I'm going to continually share. So what part of the value is on my social media and my email list and all of these things, I'm very intentional with sharing and contributing value all the time, over and over and over. Um, Jessica, that's a really good question. So I actually have a screenshot of this. So here's the script that I used after Cabo last year, that I got fired up to finally grow this community. And I was sending 5 texts a day. So it's a variation of this. I customized this, but I'll give you guys the cliff notes, right? So it's find something to relate to first. So this screenshot is, hey James, I just saw your post. Amazing, great work. You had a great month in March, right? He just shared his March numbers as an example, right? On social media. And then I have a PS. I made a commitment to myself that I would reach out and share a huge opportunity that I'm working on with people that are like-minded, I highly respect, and I would want to be business partners with. You are already way up on my list, but this post just moved you to the top. Seriously, so incredible. Would you be open to hearing more about this opportunity? I'm inviting to an opportunity. And what does that opportunity sound like? What is the avatar that you're trying to attract? What is the community you were trying to build? What is the mission, vision, values that you have? Just like you would recruit to your team, it's the same exact concept. You're inviting them to an opportunity. And if they're interested in hearing more after they have a quick Zoom call with you, then you send them to, I'm sure you guys have a version of your video, right? The model video. You invite them to the video, you watch it with them if you can. You get them on a three-way call with someone else, with James or someone else in your network to help close the deal once they're interested at that point. And then it's just a follow-up game after that. But so many people are like, I don't even know how to invite them. That text is a hack.
I think I've
If
got a
you just
photo of that. I took a photo of that when you were talking at Cabo on the blue tech. So I'll go back for one of my photos and then I'll share that around the group. I'm mindful of your time, Matt. Is there anything else that you want to share? Does anyone have any kind of questions? I want to hear about your. Obviously, I love the homeschooling, Matt. Can you give an insight to the life that you've been able to build from EXP and revenue share as
Yep.
well?
Yeah, so a couple things is number one is, and I shared this in Cabo, is I sent that text 5 people a day every day for 6 months. And guess what happened, guys? Nothing. I recruited zero. But I kept going and I kept going and I kept going and I kept going. And that, how many times do we stop at something because we're not seeing the results and we're so close to that breakthrough? Right? It's that consistency over time. And now what is happening because we build a community, I'm sharing the wins of other people inside of our community, the people that are joining us. And now people are reaching out to me. I literally just had a conversation with someone over the weekend, 140 agent team that wants to join under us at EXP. Raise your hand if that would change your life, right? But I'm doing the 5 texts a day. I'm building the community. I'm providing value, and I'm becoming attractive to the type of people that have that kind of business, and they see the value in the community and want to be a part of it. Right. And so I share the 6 month story because I think so many people do this and they'll say, like, and agents do this all the time, right? Like, hey, I get committed to like prospecting, and I get committed to open houses, like committed to something to lead generate or move business forward. And I do it for a day, I do it for a week, and I didn't get the results. So they say that doesn't work for me. That may work for you, Matt, but that didn't work for me. Guys, this stuff works, but you got to do it consistently. So the best thing that I could do is help you align your expectations with reality. Like I train a lot of new agents in our company. And when a new agent, when they come into our onboarding and they get a transaction quickly in the first week, first month, it is almost always the worst thing that could have happened to them because now their expectations are that is what is going to set them up for success, and that's how the business works. The agents that have sustained success are the ones that build it slowly and they get the habits and the routines and the disciplines that turn into skill that now they have a scalable real estate business. Same principle applies here. And so don't give up too soon. You're way closer to the goal than you think. Just remember the consistency of sending those invites and the people that you invite that aren't ready. And if you get through all of them in 30 days, go back through them again, right? It's the follow up and it's the value, it's the consistency of that and not a salesy way. And I'm just inviting you to an opportunity because we're only looking for the people who are open minded. All right. So what has EXP done for me in my life? It's done everything. It's a combination of things, but EXP is a big part of it. I'm able to live a life that I only dreamed about. Coming from when I got into real estate, um, our house that we lived in was I paid $60,000 for it. I had 3 months behind on my electric bill, no food in the fridge. All I had was a 6-week-old baby, wife on her deathbed in the hospital, and I had formula and diapers. That was it. That's all I had to my name, right? Because I got to keep the baby alive, if nothing else. And to turn that into now I'm living in a multi-million dollar home on the lake with my dream boat, with the life that I get to go on vacation whenever I want. I get to travel the country. I have true freedom. So many people say they want financial freedom, but the truth is financial freedom without time freedom is not freedom at all. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have any time to enjoy it, what are you going to do with that money? By no means am I making money a bad thing. People that make money evil will never have it. I think money's a magnifier. The more money that you have, the more it shows who you are. So for me, with more money, I can help more people. I can be more giving. I can give more to my church. I can be more charitable. I can help more people. I can impact more people's lives, including my own. But what EXP allows is for financial freedom, but also time freedom. Financial freedom, time freedom, and there's one more freedom that people don't think about. What about location freedom? How many people are stuck having to go to 9 to 5 all day, every day? How many people are stuck with their kids having to go to school every day because they don't have any other options? I'm not stuck anymore. EXP allowed me to build a life by design. Whatever I can dream in my life, I can accomplish, and EXP has been a big part of it. And I know you guys can do the same.
Amazing, Matt. Thank you so much for your time and your insights. Does anyone have any questions? I realize there's some questions on the right-hand side. Any questions at all? Matt, I realize that you've taken up so much of your time. Yeah, really, Matt, you didn't have to do this. Yeah, I reached out to you sort of knowing that you would, because that's who you are as a person. So we really appreciate all that you've done. And thank you for sharing your story. Yeah, we look up to people like you as an absolute inspiration for what you've achieved and also what you're giving back to the community. Yeah, we're big believers in community. We're trying to lift us all up and kind of build together. For us guys, we're in right at the start of this. It's super, super exciting. And we're big believers in what kind of goes around comes around. So I'm sure at some point, me or the other guys, we're going to be reaching out to you for help, sponsorship, etc., and kind of growing together. Any other questions before we let Matt go to his leadership mastermind call? I think we're all done. Matt, really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. You're going to be in
Thanks for having
Paris,
me.
Matt, or was that a bit too far to get to Paris?
Yeah, not this year.
But maybe in Utah. Are you in Utah?
Maybe. We'll see.
Awesome. Matt, really appreciate your help. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Have an awesome day, okay?
Thanks for having me. Bye,
Absolutely. Take care,
guys.
Matt. Bye-bye.